Thanks for joining us on Plus TV Africa. I am Felicity Eziwike. After initially being prevented from entering the National Assembly complex, some senators have been allowed in by security agents. Operatives of the Department of State Security had earlier turned back the senators, claiming to be acting on orders from above. Among those allowed in were Senators Rafiu Ibrahim, Mrs. Abiodun Olujimi, Odia Clifford, Peter Nwaboche, Ben Bruce, Ahmed Ogembe, and Issa Misal. The senators who were sitting in front of the chamber decried the blockade and warned against any illegal act to impeach principal officers of the National Assembly. More details soon. We're staying with the development that are unfolding in Nigeria's federal legislature, where a siege, which may have resulted in a statement, saw angry confrontation between security operatives and legislators. Let's listen in to this member of the House express her annoyance at the presence of armed law enforcement officers.
Shoot this bullet, and Nigeria shall face you. I dare you to shoot this bullet. You cannot come and go back to your station. Go back to your station. You cannot come here and embarrass us and also oppress us here.
The same people we are fighting for.
Was it the same thing Jonathan did to Buhari? If Goodluck had done this, Buhari had become a president. You can't do this to us. You start shooting at us. Have you heard? Have you heard? You come here with back space. You get with bullets in your DC to intimidate you. Enough is enough in Nigeria.
Enough.
Yes.
Outside the complex, Ben Murray Bruce, the senator representing Bayelsa East, addressed a large number of media stationed outside the National Assembly.
We have been invaded by state security. It has come to our attention that our colleagues cannot go to work after we adjourned for our summer holidays. We have been informed that the APC senators are attempting to effect a change of leadership. This is anti-democratic, against the law and against the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This morning, I have been in touch with the American Embassy. I will be in touch with the European Union. I will be in touch with Great Britain. I will be in touch with Canada. In my conversations with these embassies and these countries, I want to make it clear, we are going to ask these Western democracies to revoke the visas of Senator Akpabio and anybody leading this assault on this institution.
As at the time this conference was being addressed, the arrival of Senator Godswill Akpabio was being expected. Still in the National Assembly, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has spoken out on the illegal and undemocratic attempt to break into the National Assembly to force a change in the Senate's leadership. He has condemned these actions and calls for stakeholders to put Nigeria first. He further said that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, guarantees both the independence of the legislature and separation of powers, and that Nigeria is a democracy, not a military dictatorship, and we the people will never return to tyranny. Atiku called on President Muhammadu Buhari and Acting President Yemi Osibanjo to stop hiding behind one finger and live up to their responsibility of upholding the Constitution, law and order which they swore to on May 29, 2015. Former Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Comrade Timi Frank, has accused the National Chairman of the APC, Adams Oshomole, the Director General of the Department of State Services, DGDSS, Lawan Dauda, and 30 APC senators, led by the Senate leader Ahmed Lawan, of spearheading a fresh plot to illegally impeach President of the Senate, Dr. Bukola Saraki. Frank, who raised the alarm in a statement in Abuja on Tuesday morning, said the group met last night in Abuja to perfect strategies on how to carry out the plot. He said that he has reliable information that the meeting was at the instance of Oshomole, who is currently pressurizing President Buhari to accept his proposal of using crude tactics to topple Saraki and his deputy, Senator Ike Ekweremadu. He added that the illegal plot to break into Senate chambers is to illegally impeach Saraki. If allowed to happen, could lead to chaos and anarchy of unimaginable proportion. Former governor of Akwa Ibom State, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has resigned as the minority leader of the 8th Assembly. Akpabio, who represents Akwa Ibom Northwest, is set to defect from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress on Wednesday. According to a statement by his media aide, Jackson Udom, the resignation later was addressed to the Deputy Minority Leader, Senator Emmanuel Boacha, dated August 4th, 2018. The statement said Senator Akpabio thanked the Senate leadership, the minority leadership, all distinguished senators, his party, the People's Democratic Party, for the opportunity to lead the PDP caucus in the last 3 years. Senator Akpabio is expected to be received into the APC at a rally in Ikotekpene, Akwa Ibom State on Wednesday, August 8. Pro-transparency experts are calling for more transparency in Nigeria's budget implementation process. While reviewing the nation's 2017 budget performance in Abuja, they say there is a need to be more open to public scrutiny in an effort to reduce corruption. Our correspondent, Amadine Uye, reports.
Between 2014 and 2018, Nigeria's budget rose from 4.96 trillion naira to about 9.12 trillion naira. Also, cost of capital expenditure steadily increased in an effort to improve public infrastructure. However, figures from Nigeria's presidency indicates that 67% of Nigerians now live below poverty line, an estimated 132 million persons. Pro-transparency experts say this is because the budget in the last few years has not lived up to expectations.
We have a lot of unrealistic budgeting. Let's ensure that our budgets are informed by clear needs assessment that reflects the earnings of citizens in the country.
One of the problems we are lacking is a synergy between what is happening in the community, between what is happening with the National Assembly, and between what the federal government is proposing in terms of budget implementation.
While the budget has continuously been in public view, the same cannot be said of its implementation process by government officials. Experts believe if this is more transparent, the public gets to benefit.
If the funds are transparently and effectively utilized, then we'll see improvement in the livelihood of citizens across board.
There is need that when budget is made, it is implemented, and it involves, like we said, transparency, accountability, and openness.
With the National Assembly saddled with the task of oversighting the executive, especially in relation to budget spending, the experts are also urging the federal lawmakers to build their capacity in budget monitoring and work in the interest of Nigerians.
For every amount of money that we need to spend in Nigeria, let there be clear mechanism for oversight, for monitoring and evaluation, and for impact assessment.
There are a lot of projects. Every year they are renewed. The percentage of implementation is not known. And some of the projects, like they really pointed out, are below standard. And so money is just being siphoned, recycling some of these projects that some of them are not of meaningful benefit to the community.
It is hoped that with more transparency and adequate oversight, Nigerians will begin to enjoy the benefits of an annual budget cycle. Amadine Uyi, Plus TV Africa.
The Enugu State government yesterday confirmed the death of one person from Lassa fever in a health facility within Enugu metropolis. The permanent secretary in the State Ministry of Health, Dr. Ifeanyi Agujobi, made the confirmation to the newsman in Enugu. He said that the health providers at the health facility tried to manage the patient but lost him. Agujobi revealed that the ministry's epidemiology officials had commenced massive contact tracing of those people that had contact with the patient. He said the state has had no other suspected or confirmed case of Lassa fever. We'll take a quick break. Stay tuned for more news when we return.
Sometimes life has more questions than answers, and every teardrop seems to drown your laughter. But even when it hurts, there's someone who knows that everybody hurts, everybody cries, everybody walks along the lonely road sometimes. Let me take your hand, I will be a friend, because to me your happiness is just as good as mine, and you will be fine.
Leadway Assurance, ensuring happiness since 1970.
President Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana has relieved Minister for Energy Bokia Akeko of his post with immediate effect, the presidency said. According to the presidency, Akufo-Addo has asked Agyeko to hand over to John Peter Amewu, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, who would act temporarily as Minister for Energy until a substantive appointment is made. No reason was given for Agyeko's sack. However, local reports say his dismissal was linked to attempts by his ministry to amend portions of the controversial $510 million power deal signed between Ghana and the UAE-based Africa and Middle East Resources Investment Group, Ameri Energy, in 2015 by the previous government. President Xi Jinping of China has congratulated Emmerson Mnangagwa on his election as Zimbabwe's president, offering support to the African nation. China has close economic and diplomatic ties with Zimbabwe, which it has been keen to maintain after Mugabe's ouster in November 2017 in a de facto coup that brought his former ally Mnangagwa to power. In a congratulatory message dated Sunday, Xi expressed his wishes that the Zimbabwean government and people would make more achievements in national development under his leadership. Xi said he expects to meet Mnangagwa in September when he visits Belgium for a summit of Chinese and African leaders. And in South Sudan, President Salva Kiir, opposition leader Riek Machar, a representative of the former political detainees and representatives for other South Sudan opposition groups signed an agreement which focused on governance and security between the warring parties at Sudan's capital, Khartoum. Direct peace talks in the Sudanese capital between Kiir and Machar, in addition to representatives of other South Sudan opposition groups, were hosted under the patronage of Sudanese President Umar al-Bashir. David Shearer, head of the UN mission in South Sudan, said that there was jubilation in the streets of South Sudan's capital overnight on Sunday as residents celebrated a new agreement and that it was a big step towards peace in the country. Democratic Republic of Congo Catholic Bishops' Conference has broken its silence on the case of exiled presidential aspirant Moise Katumbi, who has been refused entry into the country. In an 8-point release signed on Monday, August 6, 2018, the church deployed what it said was interference of the government in blocking the former Katanga province governor from returning to the country. The Congolese Bishops' Conference strongly urges the Congolese authorities to reconsider their decision by letting Moise Katumbi enter the country and apply as any other candidate. The statement, signed by President and Vice President of Senko, said it was for the authorities to allow Katumbi back and for the electoral body to declare him as a candidate to run for the upcoming polls. Katumbi, exiled since 2016, is seeking to return to the country to file his candidature for polls slated for December this year. When we return, we will bring you updates on the fraud case involving President Trump's former campaign chairman and much more. Don't go away. Rick Gates, a longtime business associate of U.S. President Donald Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, on Monday testified that he helped Manafort file false tax returns and hide his foreign bank accounts. Gates and the government's star witness in its case against Manafort, who is accused of bank and tax fraud. Gates, who also served on Trump's campaign, pleaded guilty in February and agreed to cooperate with prosecutors under a deal that could lead to reduced sentence. Taking the stand on the trial's fifth day, Gates admitted to helping Manafort doctor financial statements, hide foreign income, and cheat on his taxes. He said he was aware Manafort was acting as an unregistered foreign agent in lobbying for Ukraine. He said he engaged in the wrongdoing at Manafort's direction. Manafort's defense hinges on pinning the blame on Gates, who they accuse of embezzling millions of dollars from Manafort. Indonesian police on Tuesday said an elderly village witch doctor in Indonesia entrapped a 12-year-old girl in 2003 and tricked her into having sex with him for the next 15 years by claiming to be possessed by the jinn or spirit of a young boy named Amrin. She was led to believe that Amrin's spirit had entered the elderly man's body, hence making her believe she was having sex with her boyfriend. The woman, identified by police as H, was rescued on Sunday in Toli-Toli Regency in central Sulawesi province. Acting on a tip-off, police said they had found the woman, who is now aged 28, in a rocky crevice in a jungle near Bagugan village, where she had been held during the day since her disappearance in 2003. At night, police said she stayed in a hut near the house of the 83-year-old man identified by police as JG. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has said that the atomic bomb attacks on Hiroshima and Nagasaki must not ever happen again. Guterres, who stated this at the 73rd Memorial Service at the Hiroshima Peace Ceremony in Hiroshima, Japan, called for a common path towards the total elimination of nuclear weapons and a safer and more secure world for all. Represented by the High Representative for Disarmament Affairs, Izumi Nakamitsu, the UN chief noted that tensions between nuclear-armed states were rising and stressed that world leaders must return to dialogue and diplomacy. He offered sincere thanks to the Hibakusha and the people of Hiroshima for their decades of dedication to educating the world about the threat nuclear weapons posed to our global, national and human security. Up next will be our business report with Idijong Iwan. Stay with us.
This is Business News and I'm Idijong Iwang. The Naira appreciated yesterday in the investors and exporters window to 361 Naira 96 kobo to the greenback. The strengthening of the Naira was shown in the data from FMDQ, which showed a marginal drop from 362 Naira 67 kobo traded last week, indicating a 71 kobo appreciation. Now, value of the Naira against the greenback in the parallel markets was stable at 358 Naira 30 kobo. However, there was a significant decline of 63% in the volume of dollar traded in the window on Monday, which was $1.38 million from $372.670 million traded last week. A tripartite meeting is to hold between Nigeria, Niger and Benin Republic to establish a framework to address smuggling of rice and other products. According to the Benin Republic ambassador to Nigeria, Mrs. Paulette Yakpe, since ECOWAS protocol paved way for the free movement of citizens within the sub-region, more needed to be done through regional integration to tackle rice smuggling, which poses a threat to diplomatic relations, noting that Nigeria and Benin have always worked together to beef up border security in the past. She expressed a determination to strengthen the collaboration between the two countries to curb rice smuggling into Nigeria. The World Bank has demanded a rise in value-added tax, excise and customs and state internally generated revenues across Nigeria. The global lender recommends strengthening tax administration and increasing compliance rates and reforms including realization tax incentives and exemptions and selectively increasing rates such as excise on alcohol, tobacco, And according to the World Bank Vice President for Africa, Hafiz Ghanem, plans are in place to increase its funding to Nigeria by $4.5 billion over the next 3 years to support projects in critical sectors including power, health, industry, and governance. The Washington-based institution currently has 30 projects estimated at $10 billion in Nigeria. Now that's it on business news. We're still ahead on Plus TV Africa News is our roundup on entertainment and sports. We'll be back in a moment.
And in entertainment, 28-year-old pop star Wizkid has set a date for the release of his album Made in Lagos. Wizkid made the announcement via social media in the early hours of today. The date for the release is on the 1st of October 2018. This will be his fourth body work following his Superstar album in 2011, Ayo in 2014, and Sounds from the Other Side in 2017. American singer and songwriter Kelly Clarkson will be filming a demo video for a daytime talk show for NBC Universal in the next few weeks. According to reports, it will be slated for 2019. The talk show could either be sold to TV stations in syndication or air on other platforms. The source also reveals that the talk show is part of the overall deal with NBC. Moreover, Clarkson will return as an instructor for season 15 of NBC's The Voice. Popular Nigerian singer Burna Boy has honored Afrobeat legend Fela Anikulapo Kuti in a new video titled Ye. In the video, the singer tells on issues Nigerians deal with a political undertone reminiscent of Fela. And that's not all. The dancers and outfits worn are also reminiscent of Fela's dancers. The video was produced by Clarence Peters and the album has 19 songs. Burna Boy is signed to Spaceship Entertainment. And that's it on entertainment, the very best in sports. Right after this.
Hello and welcome to Sport Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoku. Majority owner Stan Kroenke has made a cash offer to buy Arsenal outrightly, valuing the club at around £1.8 billion after securing the backing of minority owner Alisher Usmanov. The American billionaire currently owns 67% of the club through his company Kroenke Sports and Entertainment and has offered to purchase the remaining 30% held by Usmanov's red and white securities firm. And still on football, Lucas Perez spent last season on loan at Deportivo La Coruna after failing to establish himself at the Emirates Stadium. And Perez, who joined the Gunners from Deportivo La Coruna for £17.1 million in 2016, would be West Ham's 9th signing since Mauro Pellegrini was named manager in May. That is, if West Ham eventually get to have their man. And the Chilean wants Perez to provide competition for main strikers Marco Arnautovic and Javier Hernandez. And West Ham opened their Premier League campaign in a 1:30 p.m. kickoff at Liverpool on Sunday. And in tennis, British #1 Kyle Edmund was thrashed 6-1, 6-2 by Diego Schwartzman in the first round of the Rogers Cup in Toronto, Canada. And Edmund, who is ranked number 16 in the world, was beaten in an hour by Argentina's world number 12. Schwartzman immediately took control of the match by breaking his opponent's first service, and the defeat for the Briton comes on the back of being beaten by compatriot Andy Murray at the Washington Open the previous week. And that's all on Sport Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoku.
Thanks to Udoka, and that's a news roundup of events at this hour. For more news update, please follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube page as well at Plus TV Africa. We'll be back later with more stories making the headlines. Do join us again. My name is Felicity Ezewieke. Have a lovely day.